Intellectual Properties Act. We learned regarding Information Technology Act. Now we are going to learn Intellectual Properties Act. Intellectual Properties Act అంటే ఒక మేధో సంపద హక్కుల చట్టము. మేధో సంపద ఒక వ్యక్తి కష్టపడి ఒక విషయాన్ని గ్రహించింటాడు, ఒక విషయాన్ని తెలుసుకుంటాడు. ఆ విషయాన్ని వేరే వాళ్ళు ఉపయోగించుకుంటే అతను కష్టపడి సంపాదించినటువంటి అదంతా కూడా వేస్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. కాబట్టి అట్లా కాకుండా ఆ హక్కును అతను ఉపయోగించుకోవాలి, వేరే వాళ్ళు ఎవరుగానే ఉపయోగించుకోరాదు. సో అవసరమైతే అతను పర్మిషన్ తీసుకొని ఉపయోగించుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. దాన్ని ఒక చట్టం ఎవరైనా అట్లా ఉపయోగించుకుంటే వాళ్ళకి శిక్ష పడే అవకాశం ఉండేటట్లు చేయడమే ఈ మేధో సంపద హక్కుల చట్టం యొక్క ఉద్దేశం. ఇంటలెక్చువల్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ యాక్ట్ యొక్క ఉద్దేశం అనమాట. కాబట్టి ఇంటలెక్చువల్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ యాక్ట్ అంటే ఇది. The word intellectual as an adjective means involving to the intellect, having highly developed ability to think, reason and understand. The same word a noun means a person with a highly developed intellect and great mental ability. Great mental ability. Intellectual property means a property created by human brain. A property created by human brain. Human brain. It is not similar to that of a land or house. That of a land or house. The subject matter of intellectual property is very wide and includes literacy, literary and artistic works, films, computer programs, inventories, designs, trademarks, etc. Land, houses, etc. Immovable properties and vehicles, watches, etc. Immovable properties can be sold, mortgaged, released, etc. from one person to another person. ఒక ప్లేస్ నుంచి ఇంకో ప్లేస్కి వాటిని మార్చే అవకాశం ఉంది. ఇమూవబుల్. But in intellectual property, first were known collectively as industry property. మొట్టమొదటిగా ఇండస్ట్రీ ప్రాపర్టీ అంటే అనేటువంటి వాళ్ళు, మొట్టమొదటిగా ఇండస్ట్రీ ప్రాపర్టీ అని చెప్పేసి మొట్టమొదటిగా అనేటువంటి వాళ్ళు. దిస్ ప్యారిస్ కన్వెన్షన్ ఫర్ ద ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ ప్రాపర్టీ in 1883 used the term industrial property instead of intellectual property. Intellectual property అనడానికి ముందు ఏమనేమంట, ఇండస్ట్రియల్ ప్రాపర్టీ అని చెప్పేసి దాన్ని అనుకునేటట్టు వాళ్ళు. ఆఫ్టర్ ద ప్యారిస్ కన్వెన్షన్, ప్యారిస్లో మీటింగ్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత అదర్ రైట్స్ సచ్ as copyright, rights in performance, etc. are also included industrial property. Gradually in place, industrial property, the term intellectual property permanently coined. Intellectual property law concerns the legal rights associated with creative effort or commercial reputation and goodwill. Intellectual property creates rights and duties. If an author writes a book, A exercises all rights over it. These rights are rights in rem. There is a duty upon very person not to copy it and not to take unfair advantage of the work. X or reputation of A. The intellectual property law explains all these rights and duties. All these and duties. సో ఎక్స్ అనేటువంటి ఒక రచయిత పుస్తకాలు రచించినాడు. దాని మీద హక్కులన్నీ కూడా అతను ఏ అనేటువంటి పొందినాడు. సో దాన్ని మిగతా వాళ్ళు ఎవరు కూడా కాపీ చేయడానికి హక్కు లేదు. And do not take advantage of the work X or reputation of A. The intellectual property law explains all these rights and duties. The important reason for the development of intellectual property law is that a person who creates a work or has a good idea which he develops has a right, based partly on morality and partly on the concept of reward, to control the use and exploitation of it, and he should be able to prevent others from taking unfair advantage of his efforts. When one person is struggling to create a new thing, why should others be able to save themselves all the time and efforts required to create or invent the thing concerned? That is why the remedies must be provided to the inventor to protect his ideas and infringement from others. This is done by the intellectual property law. This is done by intellectual property law. infringement of others' rights, making counterfeiting is equal to the theft of goods. The intellectual property law protects the intellectual property owner from the infringement and counterfeiting. Different forms of rights. In intellectual property, law has created several different forms of rights. All these rights and legal provisions altogether are called as intellectual property. All these rights can be called as grouply intellectual property. Although the list is not exhaustive, the important rights and areas can be as follows: copyright, writing performance, the law of conference, patents, registered designs, design rights, trademarks, passing of trade life. This is the Intellectual Property Act. This is the Intellectual Property Act. Next, regarding advantages of intellectual property. What are the advantages means? Number one, prosperity. ఎవరైతే ఆ హక్కును కలిగి ఉంటాడో, ఆ ఆస్తి కలిగి ఉంటాడో అది వానికి స్థిరాస్తిగా ఉన్నట్లుగా భావించబడుతుంది. ఆ నాలెడ్జ్ అబ్బా వానికి ఎంత నాలెడ్జ్ కూడా అది కనుక్కున్నాడు అని చెప్పి చెప్తున్నాం. సో ఆ విధంగా అది అతనికి ఏమవుతుంది, స్థిరాస్తిగా భావించబడుతుంది, ప్రాపర్టీ అవుతుంది. ప్రాస్పరిటీ సంపద ఉన్నట్లు. ఇంటలెక్చువల్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఇంక్రీజెస్ ద ప్రాస్పరిటీ ఆఫ్ ద ఓనర్, society and the state, and in certain occasions to entire world. For example, Bill Gates established Microsoft and improved computers. He brought revolutionary changes in computers. Due to his technical knowledge, he has become the richest person in the world. He helped the USA to stand in the ahead of computer field. At the same time, computers spread throughout the world. Huh? సో బిల్ గేట్స్ ఏం చేసినాడు, ఈ కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ అంతా కూడా డెవలప్ చేసేసినాడు. సో దట్ ఈస్ హిజ్ ప్రాస్పరిటీ. అది ఎవరు చేయలేదు కాబట్టి మొట్టమొదటి చేసినప్పుడు దట్ ఈస్ హిజ్ ప్రాస్పరిటీ అని చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్ సెకండ్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ నాలెడ్జ్. సెకండ్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ నాలెడ్జ్. ద సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటెలెక్చువల్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ఈస్ ద బేసిస్ ఆఫ్ నాలెడ్జ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ స్ప్రెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద క్రియేటర్ టు ఎంటర్ వరల్డ్. జిరాక్స్ ఇన్వెంటెడ్ జిరాక్స్ ప్రాసెస్. Very soon, it spread entire globe. All of us are experiencing the advantage of it. I don't know. TVs, information technology, etc. increases the knowledge of the world people. Every field of human life is affected by the science and the technology, particularly from the beginning of 19th century. This is the knowledge regarding advantage. Next, investment. Investment is stimulated. It accrues abundant profits. Investment is stimulated. It occurs abundant profits. Next, facilities. Intellectual property renders most abundant facilities to the human beings in every walk of life. Entertainment. Cinemas, videos, computers, internet, TVs, tape recorders, novels, dramas, etc. provide entertainment of the people. So by their intellectuals, all these comes under. So from this, the public will enjoy a lot, entertainment a lot, by cinemas, by videos, by computers, by internet, TVs, tape records, novels, dramas, etc. provided entertainment to the people because of intellectual property. Health. Intellectual property increased health in the beginning of 20th century. The average death age was 34 years in India, 50 years in Western countries. At the end of 20th century, death age is 54 years in India, 75 years in Western countries. This is achieved due to the new inventions and the techniques in the world which have been adopted in medicines. సో ఇంతకుముందు ఈ ఇంటెలెక్చువల్ నాలెడ్జ్ అనేది లేకపోయినప్పుడు డెత్ రేట్ భారతదేశంలో 50 సంవత్సరాలు, 34 సంవత్సరాలు, ఇతర దేశాల్లో 50 సంవత్సరాలు ఉండేది. కానీ మనిషి యొక్క ఆ ఇంటెలెక్చువలిటీ వల్ల మెడిసిన్స్ బాగా కనుక్కున్నారు. ఆ మెడిసిన్స్ కనుక్కున్నందువల్ల ఆరోగ్యాలు బాగా అయిపోయి ఆ డెత్ రేట్ అనేది చాలా పడిపోయింది బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటెలెక్చువల్. So they invented medicines. By taking the medicines, the people were not dead. So the rate of death is also decreases. So health become improved. The health become improved because of intellectual property. Next, living standard. The living standard is also increased due to the intellectual property. The living standards is also improved by the intellectual property. Private property. Every intellectual property is a private property. It also agreed by TRF agreement. These are the advantages of intellectual property: prosperity, knowledge, investment, facilities, entertainment, health, living standard, private property. Regarding intellectual property rights, intellectual property rights are legal rights governing the use of creations of the human mind. The material products of a man's brain may be as valuable as his lands or his goods. The rights of intellectual property are created by statute. The invention may relate to a new product of an improvement of an existing product or a new process of manufacturing an existing or new product. The recognition and protection of these rights is of recent origin. Categories of intellectual property rights: copyright and related rights. The rights of artists, painters, musicians, photographs, and authors of copyright in their works. Rights of computer programs, whether in source or object code for a copyright in their programs and computation data. Next, traders in their trademarks. Right of manufacturers and producers on geographical indication in relation to such products and produces. Right of designers for their distinctive design striking to the eye. Next, patents. Next, right of the inventor for patent in his invention. Rights of plant breeders and farmers. Rights of biological diversity. Next, right of computer technologies for their layout design of integrated circuits. Rights of businessmen for protection of their undisclosed information on technology and management, that is, business secrets. The intellectual property rights may be protected by patents, copyrights, industrial designs, geographical indications, and trademarks. And trademarks. These are the Intellectual Property Act. Intellectual property law has created several different forms of rights of area of law. All these rights and legal provisions altogether are called as intellectual property. The important rights and areas can be classified. Copyrights, rights in information, the law of confident, patents, registered designs, design rights, trademarks, passing of next trade life. Intellectual Properties Act. After completion of the Information Technology Act. Information Technology Act. Information Technology Act. In Information Technology analysis, information technology have important definitions are assessing, addressing, affixing digital signature, symmetric crypto system, certifying authority, certification of practice statement, computer, computer system, cyber security, data, digital signature, electronic form, electronic gadget, electronic record, information, intermediary, key pair, private key, originator, secure system. Secure. So, the Intellectual Property Act, e-government trade secrets. A trade secret is a formula, practice, process, design, instrument, pattern, or compliance of information which is not generally known or reasonably ascertained by which a business can obtain an economic advantage over competitors or customers. In some jurisdictions, such secrets are referred to as confidential information or classified information. The precise language by which a trader's secret is defined varies by jurisdiction. However, a trade secret is information that is not generally known to the public and confers some sort of economic benefits on its holder, and it is the subject of reasonable efforts of maintaining its security. Trade secrets also comes under intellectual property acts. So a person he founded one thing that is his right, that is his asset, that is his fixed, but no one can take this information. This can be called as intellectual property act. Okay, thank you.